Across our broadcast regions of Flow FM in the Hume Football region area, it's great to be with you. Well, with the weekend off for games, I'll do a review of the 4 grades, and Phil Bouffler, we've given him that weekend off. He's on holidays, enjoying some good time away from the farm. I think he might be getting a spot of fishing in and all sorts of things away on a nice break. So good on you, Phil, and we'll look forward to joining Phil next week. But last week's Hume Football League action: Holbrook 14-14, 98 over Calcan 7-7-49. A good effort here by Holbrook. Calcan have been improving in recent weeks, but not enough to get over the top of a big scalp here. And well played to Holbrook. Alex Sullivan played well. Samuel Welch tried hard for Calcan, and a couple of goals to Childs and Noble, but it wasn't enough in the end for the Lions, and it's the Holbrook side getting through. CDHBU, a much needed win, and it was almost like a mini elimination when they at Corrine beat the Jinder 10-8-68 to 7-7-49. Was workmanlike. In the first half they held a lead by a couple of goals at half time. They went away in the third quarter 4-1, and at that point they had a 5-goal 4 break, and it was enough to hang on from a Jinder side that tried to come home but didn't have enough in the tank to do so. Jinder's Castle's just the 1 goal, and Samuel Crawshaw had to lead the way with 3. He was their best, along with William McGrath. Ryan Beveridge and Cade Wilson and Brendan Morris played really well for the CDHBU. Beveridge and Doherty both booted 2 goals to be their multiple goal scorers in a good win by them. Lockhart and Billabong Crows. What a game of football this one was. The Crows 10-12-72. Lockhart 10-9-69 at Lockhart. Had everything this game. Half-time, Lockhart actually led the game 8-3 to 6-7. And at three-quarter time, they had a 5-point margin. But the Crows got a couple in the last quarter to 1-1. And it was just enough for the Billabong Crows to edge past Lockhart in a thrilling match between 2 rivals. Well played to Dylan Flanagan, also Michael O'Riordan and Max Teeman. They all booted 2. George Sandra, one of the best in the comp, and Michael O'Riordan, Reece Healy were the better players. Ryan Shaw, Abraham Wooden and Chait Birkinshaw tried hard for the vanquished Lockhart D's. Angus Grigg, Tom Keogh and James McDermott and Zachary Williams all booted 2 goals for the losers, but they weren't able to get there against an old foe, and that was a good performance by the Billabong Crows. Keeps their finals hopes slightly alive. Brockburham 12-6, 78 to Henty 8-6-54. A nice performance here by Brockburham, and Henty, I don't know where their season now is at. It's almost curtains, I think. Better players for both sides, Bolton Brown and Josh Kosicki for Brockburham, and Heath Orlan, Josh Klemke and Ethan Muller for the Henty Swampies. And into the big score, Osborne 43-22. That is a massive score, 280 to the Murray Magpies 3-20. Well, you can't really say too much more than what a performance by the Osborne side. That they just blitzed the Murray Magpies in this match. That no goal scorers or better players given for Osborne on the day. Maybe all played well. And how long? 12-13-85 over Round Wabundry-Waller 5-5-35 at Wabundry. And that was the last home game there, I think, for the season before the finals. And pretty good effort from Ashton Talbot. A couple of goals for Ran. They just were struggling to kick the ball to get Wardius into the game. He only kicked one. In the end, Jack Duck was their best player. Jaden Steinke and Josh Senior played well for how long. They are looking very, very impressive at this point in time. And then that top Eckel on the side is looking for that double chance that I think is right there and a chance for them to get, given that they're in third place and really on equal wins, just that Holbrook's had that draw in second. But Osborne 11 zip and 44 looking great. Holbrook 34, Howlong 32. They're battling it out, I think, for the 2 of the top 3, those 2, Howlong and the Holbrook side. CDHBU, good performance for them to get up to 28. That after a bit of a mid-season slump, they've just recovered in the last couple of weeks. Brockburham up into 5th place at 24. Round Wabundry-Waller 6th with 24, and Jinder are down to 7th with 24. Interesting here because Lockhart at 16, Billabong Crows 14, probably mathematically chances, but still I think a long way off of that 24 premiership points. It's 2 and 2.5 games respectively, so tough to see them get into finals from here. Having a look at the reserve grade, just a quick look at last week's winners, and it was a great win by Holbrook over Culcairn, 25-17 to 4 goals, and Gindra 10-3 over CDHBU 3-5. Billabong Crows 11-11 over Lockhart, 1-3. That's a great win by the Crows reserves there, and they'll be pretty pleased with that one, with Connell, Jackson Hope, O'Brien and Jake Satori all beating 2 goals, and even Feely and Tom Martin playing good footy, and Robbie Curry and Aaron Matthews tried hard for the Lockhart side. Their only scorer was Callum White with the single score. And heading across to the other matches in the reserve grade was a good win by Brockburham over Henty by 7 goals, and Osborne 26-17 over Murray Magpies, 1-3, 18-4 to Howlong over Ramwell Bundrywalla, 2-5, and into the ladder for the reserve grade. Osborne 11-0, same as the seniors. Howlong are at 10-1, so it's 44-40. Holbrook 36, so the same 3 sides in the top 3 in seniors and reserves. And then Gindra at 32, CDHBU 28 in 5th, and Brockburham 24 in 6th. Ramwell Bundrywalla at 20, so virtually the top 7 sides, just in different configurations in reserves to seniors. Henty in 8th, 12, Culcairn and the Billabong Crows also on 12, Lockhart on 4, and Murray Magpies yet to score in reserves. Over to the 17-year-olds and under, and in round number 11, it was Holbrook too good for Culcairn, 13-14 to 2-5, CDHBU 14-7 to Gindra 2-3, Lockhart 17-22 to Billabong Crows 1-3. Massive win that by the young Lockhart kids, and they had 6 goals to Hudson Smith, 4 to Jude Verrill, and 2 each to Edward Bergemeyer and Cooper Purcell, whilst it was tough going for the Billabong Crows, and Ned Stewart, Nate Sheridan and Cameron Donald led the way for them. Hudson Smith, Rowan Day and Noah Broderick for the winning side in Lockhart. Final score was Henty going down to Brockburham 10-9 to 4-6, and at the ladders it's Henty on top 32 and Osborne on 32. Brockburham at 28, so that was a great win by them over Henty, the top side, to inflict their first loss of the season, and then 28 to Howlong. So it's 4 sides fighting it out for that top 2 there. Then comes CDHBU 20 and Holbrook 16, 8 to Lockhart and to Gindra also on 8, and then it goes away from there. So probably that top 6 almost looks decided, given the distance between 6th and 7th. And finally into the under 14s. Last week's matches: Holbrook 4-3 to Culcairn, 2 goals. CDHBU 15-5 to Gindra, 1 goal. Lockhart 13-16 to the Billabong Crows, 1 point. Some good players here for the young Lockhart side. They've got Harrison Jones, Hayden Donoghue and Cody Flynn, and 7 goals to Harrison Jones out of the total score. He's an absolute star. And Ava Cunningham, Riley Kenny and Dane Sheridan, great for the boys from the Billabong Crows, who struggled away but got at least the 1 point to get on the score sheet there. And Henty 8-9 to Brockburham, no score. And finally Howlong 5-8 to Ramwell Bundrywalla, 2 goals. And the premiership table is CDHBU on top with 9-1 and 36 points. Osborne are 32, as are Culcairn 32. Lockhart 28, Howlong 28 and Holbrook 20. Henty 20. So in effect, Henty and Holbrook fighting it out for 6th place on the ladder. Ramwell Bundrywalla down to 12, so I don't think so. So it looks like 7 sides fighting it out for the 6 positions there in that competition. So that is a look at the Hume Football League. Phil Bouffler will be back next week when he returns from holidays and from the mid-season break. No games this weekend. We'll look forward to joining our coverage of Hume Football League next week again here on the Friday Night Sports Show.